softball fields to Mr. Chris Guthrie in exchange for the annual upkeep, similar to, or exactly the same as our other ball field leases.
Any questions, discussion, motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the lease of the Babe Ruth baseball / softball field to Chris Guthrie in exchange for annual upkeep of the field.
Have a motion and a second.
Setzer.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Alvedras. Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 10 is discussion and possible action to approve the designation of blocks 32, lot 33 and 34 at Elmhurst Cemetery as indigent burial spaces. I believe we've got, occasionally have a problem with somebody that may be indigent and they don't have a place to bury them properly, so we decided to set these aside and let the cemetery board and the city manager make a decision on the amount of it, on who gets to use them. That's what I put it. So is there anything else on that? Anybody
No,
comment?
that's pretty much it. These spaces are in the cemetery section, and the cemetery board feels like these spaces are not really conducive to sell, and instead of just let them sit there empty. In the event we should need an indigent spot, we'll have them available. This doesn't happen very often, but there has been one in the past 6 months, but it doesn't happen very often.
Any discussion, comments?
Make a motion to approve the designation of Block 32, lots 33 and 34 at Elmhurst Cemetery as indigent burial spaces.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras. Setzer.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 11 is discussion and possible action for funding for the second annual Bacon Barbecue Blues and Brews Fest in the amount of $5,000.
I'm going to defer this one to Councilman Swager, since he sits on that board. But any questions for it anyway? But the minutes reflect that the Convention and Tourism Board did approve $5,000 for the second annual Bacon Barbecue Blues and Brews Fest.
The tourism board discussed this at length. I think there's some things that I think we probably do need to change. I think one of them is to start having these type of events out at Sunset Lake in Thompson Park, where there's plenty of shade, plenty of room, and I think if we start utilizing that more, I think it's a great asset to the city. We just have not used it. We've got a place where a band can play and that. So I would actually like to see at some point say that's fine, we'll approve the funds, but we'd like for you to start using those events out there where there's plenty of room for everybody.
So we'll start to make our own meeting place like Tulsa and gathering place, and
Yeah.
kind of like Scissortail Park in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
I have a question, Larry. So on events like this, there's my understanding that we give seed money if it's their first, second time, third time. How
Right.
often, what is this considered as far as staying on the agenda?
This is the second time that we've actually approved it, and it's supposed to go towards the band that they're hiring, but they did not have any band hired at the time. So
Okay. Any other discussion, questions?
The last one was fun.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve funding for the second annual Bacon Barbecue Brews Fest in the amount of $5,000.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras. Setzer.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 12, discussion and possible action on funding for the Jim Hitch Memorial Tournament in the amount of $5,000. That was held this last weekend. They had a tremendous amount of young golfers. They were a little shorter than they wanted to be, but they still had there was still a lot of good young potential golfers from all over out there. Texas, big time.
Who was the gentleman from Texas that sent us that email that said this? He's taking his kids to do, I think he said 100 different golf courses like this and tournaments for his kid. He goes, this is probably the best brand and the best environment for the kids that he's ever been at. So that's a pretty high compliment for Guymon, Oklahoma, and Jim Hitch tournament.
And this was the fifth. Also, this was the 50th year. Actually, the 51st, but they didn't get to have it last
Right.
year. And you know, in years past, there's been a lot of names you probably have heard on TV, like Bob Tway and a bunch of other golfers that played when they were kids here in Guymon, America, and they all remember.
Golf course is a great asset.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, we have a motion.
I make a motion that we approve funding for Jim Hitch Memorial Tournament in the amount of $5,000, item 12.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 13 is discussion and possible action to approve the funding for the ice skating rink for the 2021 winter season in the amount of $10,998.
Again, we talked about this a little bit during this budget year, well, at the last Christmas event. And we did seek for funding for it, but the Commission on Tourism turned it down because it was such short notice. So we brought it back to them this year, at this time, to maybe do it for this coming Christmas season. This is something that we can and will end up charging admission for. We'll have the skating rink for about a week. Admission has not been, the price of admission has not been set yet, but I would expect it to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $5 to $10 per person skating. We hope it'll be a draw for the community to bring people in to spend some of their